Hello everyone and welcome back to this particular lesson. In today's lesson we are going to focus on this summary writing. Okay, I believe we previously discussed about summary writing, but for the sake of understanding and more accuracy, we are going to discuss it today, right? Okay, now first of all, when you hear summary writing, you need to smile because this part is the easiest and it's a most common in the exams. All right. So no, basically, when you're dealing with summary writing, the thing here is that you need to understand the question. If you understand the question, then you need to scan for the particular information required. All right. So when you're dealing with summary writing, the aim is not to write everything, but the aim is to write only the key important points. All right. Now, in this case, we are going to read. So the secret here, first of all, is to go and read the question. Read the question first of all, so that you don't have to waste much of your time. Remember, this is 20 marks and you cannot afford to miss all these marks, right? Okay, now let's go. We are going to go direct to the question. All right, this is the question here. This is the question here. So the question is saying, according to the passage, what are the long-term complications of diabetes? All right. What are the long-term complications of diabetes? Write a connected summary of not more than 125 words. Very important. So word limit, very important. The summary has been started for you. All right. Now, when we go into the passage, all right, paragraph by paragraph, we are going to focus only on what? The complications, all right, the long-term complications of diabetes. All right. Now, let's begin. So we are going to go into first. So the first thing that we are going to do, we are going to identify the points before we start writing. We identify the points and make sure we underline the key points that we are looking for. All right. So we need to remember that we are looking for what? Long-term complication of diabetes, right? Now let's read the passage. Okay. Now, according to the passage, they're saying, read the following passage carefully and then answer the question that follows. Of course, we've read already the question. Now, the topic is diabetes. All right. Now, let's start from here. Most people with diabetes think that they will never develop long-term complications of the disease. So this is not the point. Of course, this is an introduction. Okay, they rationalize that they will surely have early signs and symptoms before they develop these terrible complications of diabetes, or they assume they will take medication that will revise or reverse this disease. All right. So this is only paragraph 1. We can see there is no answer there, right? We don't have what we are looking for. Now let's go to paragraph 2. Paragraph 2, they are saying medication can slow the process and or control symptoms, but surely does not get to the root of the problem. The National Institute of Health states that diabetes contributes to vascular disease and heart disease or heart attack. All right. So we are told that this disease contributes to this, right? Now let's go. Vascular disease is the disease of blood vessels. So in this case, they are explaining this point, right? Long-term elevated blood sugar levels accelerates plaque formation in all arteries of the body. All right. Then let's go to the next. Another disease caused by diabetes is clogging of the arteries, especially in the feet and the legs. All right. Clogging of the arteries, legs. In the course of time, Patients no longer feel their pulse in their feet and they become susceptible to sores that take long to heal. Okay, subsequently, long-term diabetes causes hypertension and high cholesterol, right? Medication along with the aggressive risk factor modification such as blood sugar control is usually needed to help people with such a healthy condition. It also leads to stroke. It also leads to stroke. It is sadly noticed that the patients develop uh, sla- sla- slurring, okay, slurring of speech, numbness, and weakness on the side of the body. In addition, long-term diabetes result in eye disease and retinal detachment. Okay, and subsequently in retinopathy, which is the loss of vision and eventually blindness. Okay, then we are saying this condition is common in diabetics who have had the disease for more than 10 years. Okay, so the condition is what? The retinopathy, the one which is also known as the loss of vision or blindness, the one that leads to blindness. Okay, kidney disease is also caused by long-term diabetes. Kidney disease. Okay, it's caused by long-term diabetes, and if not controlled in good time, it can further lead to kidney failure, right? It can lead to kidney failure. So kidney disease leads toward kidney failure if not controlled. Controlling your blood sugar and blood pressure together with maintaining a healthy diet and losing weight is critically important if you are facing the challenges of kidney disease. Long-term diabetes eventually culminates in diabetic neuropathy. Diabetic neuropathy. Okay, this is a condition in which the nerves are adversely affected. This condition later leads to foot ulcers, which, if not kept properly, leads to limb amputation. Okay. Now, let's go to the next passage. The next passage they're saying, maintaining good blood pressure control is very important in treating diabetic neuropathy and averting limb amputations. Another complication caused by diabetes is secretory impairment. The lower limbs are prone to this because they are further from the heart. The nutrition and the oxygen in the bloodstream must make their way through a greater distance of the blood vessels and the capillaries to nourish cells in the feet. Furthermore, long-term diabetes causes mental disease. Dental disease, dental disease whereby gums are affected, leading to tooth loss. All right. It also gives rise to pregnancy complications such as abortion and even death of the mother. Another common complication of diabetes is erectile dysfunction. Which is the inability to have or sustain an erection sufficient for intercourse. Okay, so that is where we end. Now, we need now to connect these points. Now, when you're writing a summary, you need to use also what we call linking words. Now, in this case, we are going to start from somewhere. Okay, let's start from where we started here. So to write this, if we are going to write this, we're going to say, I have the point there. Let me put my paper here. So I'm going to use this paper. You can see the first point there is talking about what? It's talking about vascular disease and heart disease or heart attack. Now, you can create your own simple way. You can create your own, you can use some one of your own words there to connect these points. All right, so you can see here they've started already. They've said in the long run, poorly controlled diabetes lead to, okay, so read to, okay, so in this case you're going to say read to vesicular. So since we talked about the first point being vesicular, so you're going to say read to vesicular, okay, vesicular and um, and heart disease, okay, vascular and heart disease due to so you are introducing some new words just to connect them points. Due to plaque for plaque formation, okay, plaque formation in the arteries, okay. So we have talked about this point, the one that talks about this one. So we've connected it with this one, eh? So the result of the disease leads to this condition, right? So we've connected that. Now we are going to this. So we are going to say it. Now these are what we call linking words. It also, all right, it also causes clogging. It also causes clogging of arteries. Clogging of arteries in the feet, and the legs, okay, resulting in sores, okay, in sores that heal slowly, okay. So this point, it is in paragraph in this here. You can see it here, the first point that we've talked about, this one, right? Now we go to this one. So you're going to say here, you're going to connect, you're going to say long term diabetes, may lead to hypertension. Okay, that which is hypertension, not hypertension, but hypertension, high cholesterol, and stroke, accompanied by accompanied by slurred speech, slurred speech, numbness, and weakness of one side of the body. One side of the body. Okay, so this is found in here. You can see hypertension and high cholesterol. Okay, and also we've talked about stroke. We've talked about slurring of speech, numbness, and weakness of one side of the body. Okay, now we are going to the next point. Okay, the next point, we are writing one connected one connected paragraph here. From there, we're going to say, furthermore, okay, it further results, okay, in eye disease, retinal detachment, okay, then loss of vision, and blindness. Okay. Diabetes, also you can say diabetes can also cause kidney, okay, kidney disease, kidney failure, okay, diabetic neuropathy, neuropathy, then foot ulcers, and okay, and limb amputation. Okay. Other complications include circulatory impairment, okay, dental disease, leading to tooth loss. Okay, pregnancy pregnancy complications such as abortion and the death, okay, and death of the mother, and the mother and the uh, electile dysfunction. Okay, so it means here we have written the all required points. We have written all required points. Remember what we've written here. This is the whole information. We've written. You have that part and we have this part connecting together. So if we count these words, they are about 113. Okay, they are 113. So you know how to count the words. You can count the words by counting the number of, you can approximate the number of words that you write per line, multiplying. Okay, so that is how you write the summary, right? Okay, this is how you write summary. Summary is very simple. Just pick the key points, and make sure you use some words to connect them as one passage or one paragraph. Okay, all right. However, at some point this can be written in different forms, but the most required standard way of writing it is to write it as one paragraph, just like we've connected it. Okay, so you can see that all the points have been included here. We've talked about the vascular disease and the heart disease. We've talked about plaque formation in all arteries of the body. We've talked about clogging of arteries, especially in feet and legs, hypertension and high cholesterol. We've talked about leading to stroke. We've also explained startling of speech and numbness and weakness of one side of the body. We've dealt with that. Then we've talked about ear disease and eye disease and the retinal detachment. We've talked about the retinopathy also, which is a blindness or loss of vision. And also we've talked about the kidney disease, okay, also kidney failure. We talked about culminates in what? Then diabetic neuropathy. And also we've talked about, if you can remember, we've also talked about what? Circulatory impairment. We've also talked about dental disease. We've also talked about pregnancy complications such as abortion and the death of the mother. We've also talked about erection dysfunction. So you can see that all the points have been included. But the most thing here, just pick the points. Avoid writing the whole of the line of the line which contains the point. Try just to get the points and connect with some short words that you can connect. Where possible, connect 2 short points together. Make them in one sentence to avoid the writing longer statements, right? Okay, so I hope this lesson was helpful, and if you would need to see this particular summary that I've written in typed form, you can inform me. This is 2025 paper. Okay, you can check it out. All right, thank you very much, and see you in my next video. Don't forget to suggest the next chapter that you feel like we can discuss. Thank you, and God bless you.